Good morning to all of you. How are you? I hope all of you are fit and fine. And today we are going to read an interesting play, and the name of the play is Mother's Day. Mother's Day. It was written by a renowned playwright J.B. Priestley. He had written a very beautiful and a very knowledgeable play which will be very helpful for us. In our previous class we have seen that Mrs. Pearson says that Mrs. Fizzard, I know that now my family members are going to change their behavior. They will behave properly. Their gesture, their attitude will be changed now. But she was very much afraid or confused, also we can say that how she will explain the behavior which she was presented in front of their family members, because she was calling her husband name. She had scolded Doris when she had decided to go out for the party with the Charlie pence. She had also told, or we can say that she had criticized Charlie Spence that he had a buck teeth and half-witted boy, and because of that Doris had started crying. Her mood was spoiled. She had decided that she will not go outside for that party, and she had also scolded Cyril Pearson also, and she had shown the correct part to the George Pearson, that how your club members laugh on you. So she was thinking all these things, that how she will explain his behavior, how she will explain herself in front of their family members, that what she was doing was not she was doing. Actually, her body was there, but the personality was of Mrs. Fizzard. So she was thinking all these things, that how she will explain, how she will justify his behavior in front of their family members. Mrs. Fizzard, severely, she says that, don't you start any explaining or apologizing, or you were done for. Now, Mrs. Fizzard says that, don't you start any explanation, don't give any explanation, don't apologize before your family members. Don't try to show your kind-hearted behavior, don't show all these things. Nor you explain anything, nor you apologize anything before your family members. Mrs. Pearson, with spirit, it's all right for you. Mrs. Fizzard, now Mrs. Pearson said that it is all right for you, Mrs. Fizzard, because you can behave in such a way that you will not give any explanation, you will not apologize for your mistake. This all behavior you can do, but for me it is very tough job, that how I will do all these things. Mrs. Pearson, it's all right for you, Mrs. Fizzard. After all, they aren't your husband and children. And Mrs. Pearson said that it's all right for you, that you can do anything, Mrs. Fizzard, because they are not your husband, nor they are your children. They aren't your husband and children. Means you can behave in such a way because they are not your husband and children. That's why you are behaving in such a way, and you can behave in such a way. It's not a big issue. Mrs. Pearson with the spirit, it's all right for you. It's all right for you. Mrs. Fizzle, after all, they aren't your husband and children. Now, Mrs. Fizzle says that impressively. Now, Mrs. Fizzle get impressed by the attitude, by the behavior of Mrs. Pearson. Now she says that now you listen to me. Now Mrs. Fizzle says that now you listen to me. You admitted yourself you were spelling them. Sorry. You admitted yourself you were spoiling them. Now Mrs. Fizzle said that you had accepted that you had only spoiled them. You had only distracted them, you had only misguided them, and you are the person who are responsible for their behavior. You had admitted this thing, that because of your behavior only their behavior is changed. Now you listen to me, you admitted yourself you were spoiling them, and they didn't appreciate you, and because of your behavior only they get spoiled, and they doesn't appreciate, and they never appreciate your behavior, your attitude. Any apologize, any explanation, and you will be stayed back where you were. Now she says that if you will apologize, if you will explain yourself, if you will explain, or if you will justify your actions, then you will be back there where you were earlier. Means the moment if you will give your explanation and justification and apologize, then you will go back. Means the starting point of the Mrs. Pearson, where Mrs. Pearson was being ordered by their family members to do this work, to do that work. Neither of them give the importance to them, and all the labor which we have done, all the pain which we have taken to treat them in a nice way, all things goes to vain. So neither you apologize, nor you explain, nor you justify your deed, your actions. Otherwise, you will go back to that original place from where we have came here. I am warning you, dear. Just give them a look, a tone of voice now and again to suggest you might be taught. I am warning you, dear. Just give them a look, a tone of voice now and again to suggest you might be tough with them if you wanted to be, and it ought to work. Now Mrs. Fizzle is giving the guidance, is giving the guidelines how you should behave after this treatment. She had told that neither you give your explanation nor you give your justification to your family members. You should be very much tough enough. You should give only orders, and because if you will not be tough enough, then you can't take all these harsh actions. So you should prepare yourself to take these bold decisions. Anyhow we can test it. She said that don't worry, we can test all these things. Mrs. Pearson, how? Now Mrs. Pearson asked, how we can test all these things? Now Mrs. Fizzle says that, what is it you would like them to do that they don't do? Stop at home for once. Now Mrs. Fizzle said that, what is it you would like them to do? Now Mrs. Fizzle said that what you want to now Mrs. Fizzle said that what you want to do, what you want that your family members should do for you. Tell me those things. What is it you would like to do for you that they don't do? she want to say that earlier, what things you require, you want to to be done by them. Give me that list. Tell me those things which you want that this thing should be done by them, and let me see right now when you will give the command for these things, whether they will do all these things or not. Means earlier which they don't do. Let me see right now after such treatment whether they will do such thing or not. Mrs. Pearson, yes, and give me a hand with super. And then Mrs. Pearson said that, okay, yes, and give me hand. Means support me. Mrs. Fizzle, anything you would like them to do that you enjoy, whether they do or not. Mrs. Pearson, hesitating, well, yes, I like a nice game of rummy, but of course I hardly ever had one except at Christmas. Now Mrs. Pearson started telling the things which she want to do in her life, but she was hesitating to tell all these things. Mrs. Pearson hesitating, well, yes, she said, well, yes, I like a nice game of rummy, but of course I hardly, but she said that I hardly play at the Christmas time, except at Christmas only she played this game, otherwise she can't play any game. Mrs. Fizzle getting up, she was sitting there, right now she standing there. Mrs. Fizzle getting up, that all do then. She moves towards the door left, then turns. She moves towards the door and turns left. But remember, keep firm or you have had it. And she said that remember all these things, that you should be firm, that you should be very much tough enough. You have. She opens the door calling, "Oh, you can come in now." Now she opens the door because they were sitting there. She opens the door calling, "Hey, you can come in now." Coming away from the door and moving right slightly, quietly. But remember, again, Miss Fizzle said that you are calling them, but remember, and this remember she had spoken 2 times, that remember a firm hand. She reminds her, Mrs. Fizzle reminds Mrs. Pearson that you should be a very firm hand, you should be very tough enough before them. George, Doris and Cyril file in through the doorway, looking apprehensively at Mrs. Pearson. Now, when Mrs. Fizzle had opened the door, they were sitting there, George, Cyril, Doris. Now, George, Doris and Cyril, they comes from that doorway, looking apprehensively at looking very seriously, very carefully towards the Mrs. Annie Pearson, that what she is going to speak now. I am just off to let you enjoy yourself. Now she said that I am just tired of to let you enjoy yourself and to make yourself enjoy, that you can enjoy yourself. The family looks anxiously at Mrs. Pearson, who smiles, much relieved. They smile back at her. And the family members looks very carefully towards Mrs. Pearson, who smiles. Actually, when Mrs. Fizzle was in the personality of Mrs. Pearson, she hardly smiled. But here she had told that I am just off to let you enjoy yourself, that I am just freeing yourself, that you all of you will enjoy yourself, and by getting all these things, they smiles. Doris anxiously, yes, mother. Now Doris said that, "Yeah, yes, mother. What do you want to say?" Mrs. Pearson, smiling, seeing that you don't want to go out. Mrs. Pearson, Mrs. Pearson says that, seeing that, because she had seen that Doris had decided that she will not go outside with Charlie Spence because her mood was off. She was not happy with the behavior of Mrs. Annie Pearson. That's why, Mrs. Pearson knows all these things. That's why she says that, seeing that you don't want to go out, she said that by seeing you, it is presumed that it is looking like that you are not going outside. I tell you what I thought we had to do. And she said that, I tell you, means I want to tell you what I have thought to do with you. Mrs. Fizzled, giving a final warning, remember. And Mrs. Fizzled was standing there only. She wanted to see that how Mrs. Pearson is going to handle, how Mrs. Pearson is going to behave in front of the family members. That's why she was standing there. And the moment this conversation of Mrs. Pearson and Doris was started, she was standing there, and she recalled her. She, means Mrs. Fizzle, recalled Mrs. Pearson that, remember what I have said you earlier, remember, don't forget that thing. Mrs. Pearson nodding means moving of the head in the accepting manner, that yes, what you have said, I am accepting. Nodding means moving the head in a gesture that yes, what you are saying, I am accepting it. Nodding them, looking sharply at the family. No objections, I hope. No, Mrs. Pearson said that no objections. I hope that it will be okay. George, humbly, no, mother, whatever you say. George said that no, I doesn't want to say anything, but here Cyril and Doris want to say something. No, Mrs. Pearson had said something. Before saying something, she was smiling. Mrs. Pearson was smiling. I thought we have a nice family game of rummy, and then you children could get the super ready while I have a talk with your father. No, Mrs. Pearson said that, I thought that we had a nice family. No, Mrs. Pearson said that because we have a nice family and we have decided to have a game of rummy, then you children could get a super ready, means to become ready for that game. Till then, I have a talk with your father. While I have a talk with your father. George, firmly, suits me. He looks changingly at the children. What about you two? Cyril, hastily, yes, that's all right. No, Cyril said that, yes, that is all right. Miss, what is going on? It is all right, no problem. Doris was hesitating that my mother few minutes earlier she was behaving in such a way, and right now she is behaving in such a way. Means, what is going on? She was hesitating. She was hesitating that what mother is going to do, because her behavior changed. What she want to say, she was thinking that thing only. Mrs. Pearson was sharply, quickly. Mrs. Pearson sharply, "What? Speak up." Now she said that, "What do you want to say? Say quickly. What? Speak up." Means what you want to say? Speak up. Speak what you want to say. I will hear you. Doris hastily, "Oh, I think it would be lovely." Now Doris said that, "I think it would be a lovely day." George, no, Mrs. Pearson was smiling because she knew that her husband, her children were thinking something, because Mrs. Fitzgerald, who was in the personality, who was in the body of Mrs. Pearson, she hardly laughed. She hardly gave them some time to smile. So she know that her children, her husband want to say something, but they are hesitating. That's why she provoked her that, "Speak up. If anything, if you want to speak, speak up." Mrs. Pearson smiling, "Goodbye, Mrs. Fitzgerald. Come again soon." Now Mrs. Pearson said that, "Goodbye, Mrs. Fitzgerald," Mrs. Fitzgerald, who was standing there. She said, she means here Mrs. Pearson said that, "Goodbye, Mrs. Fitzgerald, and come again soon." Means whenever you get free, come to my home. And Mrs. Fitzgerald was standing there till the end, because she want to see that when their personality will be changed, then how Mrs. Pearson is going to tackle them, how Mrs. Pearson is going to handle their family members. That's why she was standing there. And when she had seen that Mrs. Pearson was very much on the right path, in the sense that she is talking in a much polished way, in a much new way. That's why Mrs. Pearson says that, "Goodbye, Mrs. Fitzgerald," means you can go now and come again whenever we require. Mrs. Fitzgerald, "Yes, dear." Now because Mrs. Pearson had said goodbye, that's why Mrs. Fitzgerald says that, "Yes, dear. Night all. Have a nice time." Now Mrs. Fitzgerald says that, "Yes, dear. Night all." Means everything had been well performed. Have a nice time. Have a nice time means now your family had been changed, and now they are going to treat you. Now they are going to give respect to you. Now they have been changed. Their behavior is changed. Now they are going to behave in a much polished way, in a much good way. That's why she said, "Have a nice time," means have a good time with your family. Mrs. Fitzgerald exits left, and from there Mrs. Fitzgerald exits there, and from there Mrs. Fitzgerald gone to her house, and the family cluster round mother. And the family cluster means when they comes close to each other. Cluster means comes close against to each other, and the family cluster round mother, as because whenever mothers comes to house, or whenever mothers, or whenever we say their guardian or father, mother, whenever they go all outside for some time or for a few days only, and when they come back, every children runs towards them in order to catch them, in order to have a hug, in order to touch them. In the same way, here the family members cluster around the mother, and the curtain falls. And the moment each family members, and here the children, Doris and Cyril, they cluster the mothers for showing their love and respect. And after that, the curtain falls, means now the play comes to an end. This shows that how a family, how a reputation of mother is given priority. Here we have seen that mother's priority should be given the topmost priority. Mother's place can't be taken by any other persons, and mother's reputation should be the highest reputation in this world.